Hey, I'm David Molinax. I'm going to be demonstrating how to properly position a patient for radiograph studies. Alright, so I'm going to go through a few different positions here, and I'll talk about the collimation and where the primary beam should be focused on each one. So the first one I have to do is a lateral view of the skull. So I went ahead and collimated accordingly. And I've got this stuffed animal here that's going to help show what's going on here. So in this view, you want to get the skull in a lateral position like this. If it was a real animal, we would probably use some sort of tie gauze or something to help pull this head down, and obviously he's very stiff, so I have to push down to kind of get the proper skull angle that I would like. But we could put tie gauze here and pull it out so that way our hands aren't exposed to the beam whatsoever. The next one would be a ventrodorsal view of the skull. So for that one, it would probably take 2 people. And for that view, the collimation should still be about the same since we're still looking at the skull. So what you're going to do with that view is obviously take a VD view of the skull. So it would be set up like this to where the primary beam, probably collimate a little bit more so it's not so far down into his thoracic spine. Okay, so that looks better. And once again, we could use tie gauze or something to kind of help align it where we'd want to be. Okay, the next one is a ventrodorsal view of the cervical spine. So the cervical spine is going to be the neck region. So we'll go ahead and collimate for that area. Making sure that the collimation is set for what we're actually looking at. Okay, so if you can see my beam, it goes from the jawline here to the start of the thoracic spine. Obviously on the dorsal portion of the dog, that's where that would be. Okay, and then let's see, flex lateral view of the cervical spine. So I'm going to place the patient in a right lateral recumbency. And I'm going to be looking at the cervical spine once again. For the flex part of this, you're really going to want to pull the patient's head down as much as possible. So, and once again, he is fairly stiff, but I can work with him here. And just like on the other view of the cervical, you're going to go from the start to the end here, and that's where your collimation is going to be. Once again, we can use some sort of tie gauze or some sort of restraint to help in this scenario to get our hands away from the beam itself. Alright, a dorsoventral view of the thorax. So a DV is going to be with the patient in a sternal recumbency. So I'll go ahead and collimate these gloves. Okay, so for the thoracic spine, a DV, I've got it collimated here to where we're going from the end of the cervical spine to the beginning of the lumbar. Bring it down just a little bit. Okay, so that's going to be this area right here, the chest region. And with this one, it helps to have 2 people. You obviously probably wouldn't have much success holding a dog like this, but with someone on this side and on that side, it's fairly easy if the patient kind of helps you out by being a good patient. Okay, the next one is a ventrodorsal view of the thorax. So it's going to be the same thing. Once again, 2 people would help, and you're just going to flip them up like this to where the beam's going through the ventral region and out through the dorsal region. Collimate accordingly, and since we did the DV last time, this dog is the same size obviously as it was a second ago, so I won't have to change anything. let's see, a lateral view of the thorax. Okay, so once again, we're getting the thoracic cavity. So it's still collimated. I might have to change the width just a little bit since he has the lateral recumbency now. But with this one, we're still aiming at the same region from the start to the end. And with this, usually this is the one they're the most well behaved for. But with this position, you can see the entire thoracic cavity and anything that may be held within there. Alright, and then a ventral dorsal view of the abdomen. So that is going to be a VD of the abdomen. So we will need to collimate just a little bit here. Okay, so for this, what we're looking at is the very end of the thorax and then the end of the sacrum here. So with two people, one would be on this side and one would be over here. And with this view, you really probably won't need any type of help beyond your gloved hands to kind of hold these legs in the place that they need to be. And a lateral view of the abdomen. So we'll take this and we'll put Mr. Puppy in right lateral recumbency. Can probably close down just a little bit. Okay, and we're still shooting for the same area, which is the abdomen. So we have our collimation from here to here. And that should do it. And I'm going to pick one of these positions and actually take a radiograph of a canine and a feline. So I'll just choose one out of that list and go ahead and take that radiograph. Hi, I'm David Mullinex, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to take a radiograph of a canine. I have all my proper gear on. I have my gloves ready for when I need to use them. I have Bennett here, who's going to help me take a lateral abdominal radiograph, and Taylor's going to help me restrain as well. So I have Bennett in the system here. This is the radiograph that Taylor just took, and we're going to go ahead and repeat that and see how close our results are to the same. So we have the KVP and the MAS up here, and we've already put that into the system. So we're just going to go ahead and get Bennett in right lateral recumbency. Yeah. And we both have our dosimetry badges on as well. You back there this time?
Yeah, sure.
Bennett, get him over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's okay.
Okay, so we're going to get him into the right area. Since we're looking at the abdomen, we're going to go to the bottom of the thoracic cavity here, which is ribs end right back here. So we can probably collimate it slightly. Alright, and then Taylor's got the pedal, so we're going to look away from the beam and go ahead and take this.
Go bowling.
Alright, so we have our radiograph pulled up, and we can go ahead and label it and save it. The way that our system works is once we save it, it's sent to the cloud, and we can use that on any of our computers or even computers at home to pull it up or send it via email or put it on a disk, whatever we need to do with it. So here's our abdominal radiograph, and as you can see, we've got the entire abdomen here. So that looks good, and we'll get a doctor to review that. Hey, I'm David Mullinex, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to do a feline radiograph. So we're going to take a lateral abdominal radiograph. I'm going to go ahead and add that here. And the KVP is 65 and the MAS is 5. The patient has been entered. This is Kitten Weidman who's going to be helping us. So we're going to go ahead and place her on the table. We have all of our proper gear on. We have our gloves ready. We have our dosimetry bag. And we're just going to go ahead and take this radiograph. I'll be at the bottom again.
Oh, come here, baby.
Alright, so since we are doing a lateral abdominal, she's going to be placed in right lateral recumbency. I'm going to get the rear. Taylor's going to work on the front. While she's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and collimate to the point where we are just getting what we need in the picture. Alright, Taylor's getting her gloves on. I'm going to go ahead and pull back her back legs so you can really see what we're working with. And get everything out. We're going to look away from the beam and go ahead and take a radiograph. Very good, Katon.
Come here, baby.
Alright, so our radiograph is up. We're using digital, obviously, so it pulls up rather quickly. We have a radiograph here with we're seeing what we want to see for a lateral abdominal radiograph. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that and go ahead and save it and send it to the cloud, because that's what we rely on here at Riverview to be able to email, send, put on disk, pull up from just about anywhere to be able to review these radiographs or send them off to be reviewed by someone else. I'm just going to make record of that we did take this radiograph and go ahead and save it, and then we will be good.